So the journey to success can be extremely challenging, filled with many twists and turns, and the one area that is crucial, probably the most important area to your success, is the people you have around you. And so in this video, I'm going to give you 3 different types of people that you have to ensure that you have if you want to be the successful individual that God has created you to be. Now, it's often the case that when you decide to become successful, you look around you and you realize that not everybody around you has the same intentions. And it's not that they're bad people, it's just that you used to all be on the same page, but all of a sudden you decided to change. They haven't changed, they're still the amazing people that they were. You're just different now. And so with that difference comes the requirement for some different people. And that's just the reality of life. And so now let's get into the 3 different types of people that you need in your life. And so because I'm such a cool guy and I love using alliteration and these things, you know, like this, I've decided that I'm gonna make each of the types of people the letter C. I'm gonna start it with the letter C so you can see where I'm going with this. Okay. But before we get into that, 70% of you are not subscribed to this YouTube channel and you need to subscribe right now, okay? Don't just be watching these videos, enjoying and hiding in the sidelines.
Come on, man.
I'm trying to build community here, do you know what I'm saying? So make sure you subscribe, stay connected. Now let's get into the first of the 3 types of people that you need in your life. The first one is a commander. Now the commander is the person above you. I'm going to be using like army type words in this video, just so you know. The commander is the mentor. The commander is the spiritual leader. The commander is the covering. The commander is the person that you have chosen to submit your life to and learn from. I have marriage counselors who are over 20 years married. And when they give me advice when it comes to marriage, I'm like, okay, I'm taking this on board because I want to get to where you've got to. And so the first area you need is a commander. And this requires a bit of an adjustment on your end because maybe you're used to living life however you want to live it. Maybe you're used to kind of being a lone wolf or being the top of your food chain, so to speak, being the best person or the smartest person in your circle. And this is the time of your life where you're actually going to have to learn that if you only rely on your own knowledge, you are actually very, very limited. The mentor's job is to expose you to a new realm of knowledge. And it's going to cause adjustment on your side because often you are going to have to pursue them. They're not going to pursue you. And because you want that success, you're going to have to find a way to adjust your life to attach to these individuals. I remember when I moved out of my mother's house and moved to Windsor because I wanted to be closer to the people who were mentoring me. I wanted to be a walking distance from them so that I could be more accessible to them so that I could learn more. Those experiences transformed my life, and the commander is responsible for pouring out, but you have to put your life in a position to receive the pouring. Water can be pouring out on this mug, right? Water can be pouring down over here. If I put the mug over here, the water's pouring here. Nothing's getting in this mug. It's only when I put the cup in the place to receive that it will begin to receive. The knowledge is there, the wisdom is there, but you have to submit your life in such a way that you can receive from the commander. It may be putting your pride aside and saying, I don't agree with what they're saying, but I'm going to do what they're saying because they're the commander. I don't want to live in this city. I don't want to be in this area. I don't want to take this trip, but they're the commander and I want to be close to them. I want to learn. I want to gain more experience. Your life is going to change. Your life is going to pivot. Your life is going to move because you need the wisdom that this person carries. What I found is that if you want to really get close to people who are of value, then you have to have some value as well. For me, it was my ability to do accountancy. Accountancy opened up a door for me to become the accountant of Dr. Sharon Stone. It was my ability to do accounting work that opened that door for me. Also, Prophet Tommy, who helped me with that as well. But then what really kept me there over a longer period of time is that I didn't just do accounting. I also started doing content stuff. So I helped with filming. I helped with getting stuff out on her social media. I helped her build courses when it was necessary. And I became more and more and more valuable to the point where her and her husband, I was one of the first people they would kind of be calling on for certain things because I had made my life so accessible to them. And I was able to learn so much in the process of that. There are many people who cannot just get up and do exercise by themselves. They need a PT. That's why there's so many PTs in the fitness industry, because there are so many people who need to be held accountable when it comes to their physical fitness. And it's the same for every area of our life, whether it be our emotions, whether it be our spiritual growth. Accountability changes the game. And having somebody who's been on the path, who's done the journey, who's done the time, who's got the t-shirt, they can change the game for you. So number 1, the commander. Now, actually, the last thing I want to say about the commander is this. Many people have too many mentors. 5 mentors for marriage, 6 mentors for finance, 7 mentors for spirituality, and all of these mentors are giving you different advice. So narrow down the process. And one of the greatest ways to do that I found is actually to pray. Who should I be learning from in this season? Who should be my mentor in this season? Who should be that commander? Now moving on to number 2, we have the Conrads. The Conrads are your brethren, but I mean people who have made the commitment to go on this journey with you. 2024 was the first year I actually accomplished reading the Bible in a year. I'd probably tried every year before and failed every single time. And the difference between 2024 and the 5 years prior was that I had community. I had people who had chosen to go on this path together with me. I had 3 other guys and we had all committed that by the end of the year we were going to read the entire Bible. And so we would have check-ins often. We'd write in the group chat, say, how you guys going? How's the reading going? What chapter you on? What book are you on? Da-da-da. And it gave me a zeal because I didn't want to be the guy who let the team down. I promise you that there were some days I really was not interested in what the Bible had to say, but it helped me develop a consistency that now in 2025, I'm reading 3 chapters of the Bible every single day because I developed that discipline in 2024. The Bible talks about how iron sharpens iron. And so will those Conrads be to you. The Conrads are there for the day that you're feeling low. The Conrads are there for the day that you're feeling weak. The Conrads are there to give you that extra push, that extra motivation. Because this journey of success can feel very, very lonely. So without your Conrads, you can feel like you're the only one on this earth taking this path. I've spoken to many men specifically who feel very alone in this journey to become spiritually strong, to become successful and all these other things. And what I would encourage you to do right now is to look for some Conrads. And so if you're alone right now, the prayer should be, God, give me Conrads. God, give me people who can do this journey with me. Jesus sent out the disciples 2 by 2. You know, it wasn't even a solo thing for them. They had a brother with them. And so you need that. You need that person. You need that Conrad. And then the third type of person you need in your life is the cadets. The cadets are the trainees, they're the juniors, they're the mentees. And just like you have a commander, you are the commander to them. And although you're not where you wish you were, you are way further along than the cadet is. And so the cadet is looking up to you like, wow, this person's life is incredible. Myself and my wife are able to make hundreds of thousands a year, but we're not making millions and millions and millions a year. We're making hundreds of thousands a year. I'm looking at the people who are making millions like, whoa. And the people who are making 1,000 or less a year are looking at me like, whoa. You know, without them, oftentimes you don't even know how wise you are. You don't even know how much you've learned. Because it's them that start to ask you questions about the journey and you realize how much you've been through. There are many young guys who I speak to and I have the privilege of mentoring and speaking to and encouraging. And it's only when they ask me questions that sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, I went through this. Oh, I actually know that. And a scripture comes out or a piece of wisdom comes out and I'm like, wow. You know, a well doesn't know how valuable it is until somebody draws from the well. It's only in the drawing that the well finds value. So many of us have so much skill set, expertise and wisdom, but because we're so focused on getting somewhere, we are not paying attention to what we already have. And it's only when somebody comes and draws from it that we recognize the value that we have and the role that we play. And I believe in the scripture that says that whatever you do for others, God will do for you. I believe in that scripture wholeheartedly. And I believe that as you do that for mentees, for the cadets, commanders, people, they'll be encouraged to find you and to pull you up to higher levels as well. There are areas of success you have in your life that another generation wants. You know, I'm 29 years old. I'm turning 30 in a couple of months. And a lot of the people who are asking me questions are 21, 22. I'm not 40, I'm not 50, I'm not 60, I'm not 70, but there is years of gaps. And if I can help them not make the mistakes I made, how beneficial is that to them? That they can be where I am at 23 rather than 29 because they've learned from my mistakes. How great is that? How great would that make me feel as a person to contribute to somebody else's success? But also, I'll learn so much more about myself and what I carry when I'm pouring it out. See, many of the gifts that God gives us, they're not for us. The tree doesn't eat apples. The tree doesn't eat apples, but the apples are a blessing to the eater. And so there are many things in our life that God has given us that we only really find out, that we only really unlock when our life becomes of service to another generation, to another person, to those cadets. And so these are the three types of people that I believe that you need on your journey to success. Maybe you're in a season right now where you don't have a commander, you don't have a leader, you don't have a mentor, you don't have somebody who's guiding you. Maybe you're in a season right now where you don't have comrades, you're a lone wolf, and there's many, many men like this. Many, 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 many men like this. They have friends, but they don't have comrades. They don't have people they're open and vulnerable with and really doing this journey of life with together. And then maybe you don't have cadets. Maybe you've got to a place where you don't even deem yourself worthy to mentor anyone. Like, who am I? And I just want to let you know right now that you are 100% worthy, and that the fact that somebody is looking up to you and asking you questions is proof that you are a mentor. Maybe you're missing one of these three areas in your life, and I would encourage you today to pray to God, the God that sends divine connections into people's lives. That's the God that we serve. That you have to believe with faith that today, when you make that prayer, that God is going to meet you where you're at, that he's going to send those people into your life, or he's going to illuminate you to see those people in your circle. Many times we stay with the friends we have, or we stay with the life that we have because we're waiting for God to show us the next phase. But so often when you leave where you're at right now, that's when God begins to show you. Let me know in the comments, give me a number 1, 2, or 3, how many of these areas you have in your life right now. Thankfully, I have all three, but I definitely want to develop some deeper connections to some of my commanders right now because of the travel and everything that's been going on. I feel like I've been a bit all over the place, so I definitely want to reconnect with some of my commanders and get some fresh wisdom in my system. Another objective of mine is I really want to meet Myron Golden. I really want to meet him. I want to join one of his programs, whether it's a 55K or 100K. At some point, I want to join one of his programs because he's taught me so much wisdom online, but I really want to get in his face and actually spend some time with him in person and really allow him to become a business commander in my life. God bless you. Remember, 70% of you are not subscribed, so hit that subscribe button. Let's see how quickly we can get to 1,000 subscribers. See you tomorrow.